Facebook, not LinkedIn. Facebook.
Okay.
Okay. And it says we're live. So, and hopefully we're recording as well. So good afternoon if you're watching on Facebook Live. This is the very first time I've ever done anything like this, as you'll probably find out in the next half an hour. But I'm joined by Mr. Michael Quigley. Mr. Michael Quigley is an entrepreneur. He has a fantastic business in Kataholos. He's a public speaker. He's an all-round good egg. And I thought Michael would be is in my top 3 people that I would ever want to talk to about business and things. And I mean that genuinely, not just because he's on the line. And I want to know a little bit more about what he's up to at the minute, because of course it's unusual circumstances, but at what you're up to beforehand, and then what you're going to be looking to do after this has finished. So Michael, just give us a few minutes about Kataholos and where you've come from.
Sure. So it's always funny when you get called entrepreneur, because that means different things to different people. Some people, they're like, yes. Other people, they're like, oh God, not another one. Yeah, sure. So real simple, my business is called Kataholos, and we're all about growing people. So we grow people 3 ways. We do leadership development. We do training courses. And there's Laura.
Laura, hi. Are you okay?
How's it going?
Yes, good, thank you. Sorry I'm a bit late. I've just finished another webinar.
Don't you worry. We've only just got into the start of it, so don't worry at all.
Okay.
How long is your hair?
I know, it's a bit wild at the moment. Look at it, it's so long. I really need to go say hairdressing.
I think you and the rest of the country, we're all just like, oh gosh.
I'm like a wild woman.
Look at his beard.
I know, we were the same, just too much growth in all areas. So Michael, you were telling us about Kataholos, and Laura, we're going to come on to you in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, it's fine. So we do leadership development, because leadership's lonely and difficult and hard. So people need support and development with that. We do training courses. Laura does training courses as well now, which is cool. We like complementary stuff. So we love doing training courses, helping people. And then we have products. So we've got a book. Where is it?
Yeah, where's your book?
Bang, there it is. So I wrote a book, and then off the basis of that, we did an online course, because people wrote the book. People like Liam read the book, and they're like, great, what's next? So I built an online course. You asked how it's changed at the moment. Biggest change is leadership work still being done just on video call. Products still selling, but the training courses, obviously face-to-face training courses, on hold. So we've started doing online training courses because people ask for them. It is different. Laura will tell you more about that. She's been doing more than me. But it's definitely, how can I describe it? I think that was going to happen anyway with the business, but like it's kind of come a lot quicker. So in the long term, it's actually a really good thing. So that's pretty much me in 2 minutes.
Well, no, and that's absolutely fantastic. So, Laura, do you has yours changed? Your business changed in the same way that Michael's has? In that, I mean, tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do, and then how you've been affected in the last 5 weeks as a positive. You know, there must be some positives to it.
Oh my God, yeah, there's loads of positives. It has been really tough for a lot of reasons, but there's so many positives to be found, and that's what we're focused on, because those are the things that we can control. There's no point moping around about the things that are out of our control. Focus on the positive changes that we can make, which is what we've been doing, just as you two have. I am the one half of the directorship at Fresh Perspective Resourcing. We're a recruitment business with a twist. We don't just do recruitment, though. We do helping people, sharing our love and knowledge and positivity as much as we can to help people find jobs and interview successfully, but also to help businesses grow and fix problems by finding them amazing people and helping them tighten up their recruitment processes, which has obviously fallen off the edge of a cliff a little bit at the moment. But one thing this current situation has allowed us to do is to get the training side of the business off the ground more. So we have done bits and pieces of training for candidates and customers on a face-to-face capacity, so impact in a very similar way to Michael with regards to that at the moment. But I've always wanted to get it off the ground more and really launch it and really push on the training side, which this current situation has really given us a chance to do. So we have launched it more. Obviously, it's online training at the moment, and it's going really well. It's starting to really now. It's really exciting. It's allowed us to stay positive. It's allowed us to still help people And we've still, for me, it's given me purpose. If I hadn't had purpose over the last few weeks, it would have really affected my mental health. So being able to adapt and pivot the business has helped me really in so many positive ways, as well as the business itself.
Very good, very good. So you both look after people in terms of that's you do, don't you? You both, that's what you do. You look after employees or staff or growing people, whatever. What is the one tip then that you would give to any new employee going into a role in the current circumstances, in the current climate? You know, they're going online, it might be they're working from home. What's the one tip that you would give them to be as successful as they can be?
That's a good question. Do you want to go first, Laura?
Well, what about yeah,
I don't mind. I go first. I don't mind. I was good. I just thought ladies first.
No, go on, you go.
Well, okay. I'd say, to put it in a business context, in terms of business words, I'd say to people, you are your best asset. You know, I used to say that when I was a teacher to fellow teachers, you are your best resource. So if you think of yourself like a £1 billion asset, how much you protect that and look after that and make sure it gets what it needs. If you can try and see yourself like that, because we tend to think, especially, hopefully Laura will back me up on this, when you're new, you go like, oh, I'm new, I'm not very good yet. But if you start out by seeing yourself as like, oh, I'm capable of this, and then you do all the stuff that you think to protect that and look after that, if that makes sense. So imagine it was like a car, and you'd say, oh, I'd look after this car and I'd do all these things. Do the same for yourself, and by doing that, you'll be in a really good like place, and then you'll be able to do really good work.
Great.
That's a really good positive, because I think, like you say, if people are new and they're new into a position, a job type or a company, they don't feel as valuable as the other people already there. And so they're less confident, less likely to look after themselves in their position and their aspirations because they feel they're too new. So I really like that.
Brilliant. And of course, Laura, you companies still want to grow. They still want to expand, and coming with expansion comes having more staff. Generally, there'll be companies that will have been going through that growth process up to the start of this lockdown issue. What should companies be doing then now with regards to their recruitment drive? You will obviously be saying, I'm sure, get recruiting, keep doing that. But is there something different they could be doing at the minute, or?
Oh my God, yeah, there's loads. So if they've got recruitment plans coming up, now is a really good time to start looking for candidates, whether you're doing it yourself or you want a partner such as Fresh to help. Oh, hang on a minute, my TV's just turned itself on.
That's all right, Laura, you carry on.
Have you seen that thing about, is it Elon Musk? No, it was James Franco, when he was just like, oh, I'm scared because Google's listening. I laughed, my wife laughed, Siri laughed. It's like that. TV's turning themselves on because they think you want them to.
That's all right.
Poltergeist or something. So it's very badly timed. I do apologise.
Yeah. That's fine.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So now is a really good time to recruit, or at least start looking, because a lot of people have been laid off. Some have been furloughed and are at home, but a lot have been treated badly. So even if they have been laid off and they have or haven't been furloughed, a lot of employees have panicked recently. I'm out of breath just for running to the TV. and so they will be looking for new jobs, especially when the market starts to improve. So they will be on the lookout now because they're potentially upset with their current situation. But even if you don't want to start doing that, you can still start thinking about what you might want to do in terms of recruitment. You can still start building relationships with candidates and almost creating a nice network of potentials that you can warm up and nurture and stay in touch with and share your business updates, and they can get to know you. So when you are ready to recruit, you're already partway down the process, or if those people in your network are not interested, they've seen some amazing stuff from you. Help other people. So there's definitely a lot of things that can be done now. A lot of proactivity, what we call pipelining candidates, figuring out your recruitment process, your interview process, who would be on your interview team, and just utilizing this time now if you're not going to actually do recruitment, but get everything ready and get all your ducks in a row, because once lockdown is over and we've all started to go back to a new normal, if everyone starts to want to recruit at the same time, the market will be flooded with opportunities, candidates will have loads of choice, and you will have a lot more competition for your, in comparison to vacancies for candidates. So if you start now, you'll be ahead of the curve.
Brilliant. And you're both successful business owners. How have you changed your mindset, if you have at all, kept yourself sane? How have you kept going so far, Michael?
How long have you got?
No, I've only got 18 more minutes. So,
do you know? I'm gonna quote Laura on this, because me and Laura met up when I was still really new to business. Because Laura, your business has been going about a year more than mine, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're 4 on Monday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've just turned 3, so we're children together. But Laura, I remember Laura saying to me, she just said, like, it's your business, do it your way. And that's always stuck with me, that. And for me personally, it's like, it's remembering that the online world is brilliant, but it's a part of the bigger world. And there's so much smoke and mirrors out there and things like that. And it's like, you got to keep yourself well and like focus on what's really, really important, because I think some people, like, how can I describe it? If they're very good at sales and marketing, they can make it seem like they're doing really well and everything's fabulous. I think you have to be careful of that. There's a really good post that I saw, and it was on Instagram, and it was like, you need to be getting fit, starting a side hustle, doing all these things, smashing this. And this guy just drawn a line through all of it, we're going through a pandemic. Like, do your best. We've never been through something like this. And anybody who thinks they know what they're doing, don't listen to them. I think you got to think for yourself. Really, I think that's really, really important. I think it's really important we connect and keep helping each other. If anybody makes it out like they know exactly what's going on in all areas all the time, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Though, seriously, it's like think so far. Think for yourself. Do business. Do it your way. Listen to people who know what they're talking about. Like, we've got a good friend Morgan who knows a lot about marketing, and he told us last week a lot of good stuff. And like you were saying, like Laura was saying, keep building relationships, check in with your clients. That's what matters. Keep those relationships going. I personally, created a little acronym for my business. I call it AIR. So it's assets, IP, and relationships. So build assets. So write blogs, write stuff, make online webinars, build IP. So like we're doing now, think your own ideas, and build your relationships. That's the area of your business. Keeps you alive. If you're not doing that, chances are you're just getting distracted. And I try and remind myself of that.
Yeah.
I'm building something useful. I'm generating some IP. I'm helping somebody. If I'm not doing something like that, I have to like drag myself back on task.
Because you touched on positivity there, Michael, and there is a lot of stuff going around, and mainly we're stuck to social media at the minute because there's not much else to do other than go on Zoom and things. And there's people saying, I'm positive, I'm getting up, I'm working out. But then there will be people who are saying, I haven't really got the motivation to work out. I haven't got the motivation to work on my business. And that's all right as well, isn't it? It's all right not to be positive all the time, if at any of the time. Yeah. Laura, what about yourself? How are you keeping yourself on track with your goals, I suppose?
It's been a tough one, really. I think the main thing is, like Michael said, is be kind to yourself, and it's okay to not be okay. And there have been times over the last, is it 5 or 6 weeks? Yeah. In times, it's been up and down. I broke my ankle, so that was a bit of an issue. So that really impacted my mental health and my physical health, and it really put a dent in my positivity and my motivation, because I was really fed up. And I just took some time. I just took a few days and thought, you know what, this is just how I feel, and I'm just going with it. You can't always fight it. Sometimes you just have to accept that you're going through a bit of a tough time, and it's doing the things that will help, and trusting that process. So getting outside, getting fresh air and some sunshine, which has been easy to do over the last few weeks.
Yeah, of course.
Well, drinking enough water and just moving. If you've not got the motivation to do a workout, just go for a walk. Your head, and it was doing all of those things that really kept me sane, I suppose. I would normally go for a hike or a run if I can't go to the gym. I've not been able to do that, so I've just been having to find smaller things that I can do, like just going, getting outside and just sitting on the garden and being outside near nature has really helped me. Getting regular time.
Yeah, of course. That routine definitely helps, doesn't it? And of course, you've got a team as well, Laura. You've got to manage a team of people as well, and they're keeping their heads up, and you're having to motivate them as well. But I know that they're already fairly well self-motivated. Yeah,
it's been tough, and I think after maybe week 3, you could really start to see the cracks in people's mental health starting to show. Heather's grandma passed away, Jane really got a close relationship with her mum and has not been able to go and see her, and it's really started to upset her. We have our 3 daily Zoom calls with the team, We talk a little bit about work in the morning and the evening, but we all the midday one is really, we kind of almost just have lunch together and just have a chat, keep banter high and spirits high. The girls have sent each other care packages, and we've done quizzes on a Saturday night together via Zoom, and it's just keeping each other motivated. It has been really hard, and when you see that they are struggling, it's been absolutely heartbreaking, because you almost feel helpless because I'm not there in person to help. And it's just making sure we're still doing our one-to-ones and having regular conversations with them privately to make sure that they're okay. And we've kind of increased the frequency of those. And we increased the frequency of our health questionnaire. So they do this every Friday now.
Okay.
Score themselves from 1 to 10 on how they're feeling in terms of anxiety, stress, sleep, food, energy. And then we just kind of monitor that. And we know what each score means for each person as an individual. And just keeping on top of that, really, that's really helped.
Brilliant. It would be remiss of me not to mention our networks, of course, wouldn't it? We all belong to a common network. Networks, whether it's business networks or social networks, are you relying on them? Are you using them to generate business and also as a support network? Michael?
Me?
Yeah. About both. Yeah.
So I have a different, totally different situation to Laura. So Laura's got a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. She's got a team. I don't have a team yet. So I'm on my own. So that, in some ways, that's really good. But in some ways, that's very, very hard. Like Jane, I'm very close to my family. I've not seen them for 5 weeks. So I think like videoing them, calling them, even when you don't feel like that, is really, really important. So like your family kind of and friends, keeping them close, having a WhatsApp group. I love that Laura's phrase about keeping banter levels high. I'm in a WhatsApp group and the banter is flowing on that one. So that's cool with some friends. In terms of business, networks are huge. They're absolutely really, really important, because you can have deep relationships. Like I said before, a lot of stuff on social media can be quite shallow. It can be kind of like, there's a great guy, Jack Spedding. We know Jack is a photographer.
Oh, I know Jack.
Yeah,
Jack's a great guy. And he put a post today and he said like he'd started a group to try and like engage with people and help creatives, and had 1,500 people join it. He thought, this is great. And it ended up being a bit of a waste of time. And he was like, he realized he was chasing like a vanity metric. So I think that's where a network's really good, because you can have a small group of people well, and you can help support each other and generate leads and opportunities. I got to help somebody last week almost by accident, just by chatting to him. He said, oh, I know this and that. And like, I did a talk last week. Well, that's my phone, sorry. And I know I put Laura in touch with the person who I spoke to. So you start thinking, I'm doing this, you can have that. And I think if you're looking out to help other people, that's what a network does. It reminds you you're not isolated, you're not on your own. You are part of something, whether you realize it or not. Yeah. And even just opening that question, going, how can I help somebody else, and then just leave it, you'll find, like you're doing now, you've made this for us. You've created an opportunity. Yeah. Rather than going out and finding it, sometimes you can create stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on, Laura.
All three of us have an inbuilt desire to help other people, and I think what lockdown suddenly presented us with was that it's almost to take away that. And once you've found your feet with online networking, that you can still talk to people on the phone, you can still see them. We have our social networks. You can still do that. You're like, oh, okay, this is all right. I can still help people. I don't have to actually see them to continue to do that.
I think that's really important. Like, if we didn't have this technology, can you imagine that?
Oh,
just be like, we'd be sending ravens and pigeons and paper airplanes and shouting to people. There's like telephone wires with like string and cups.
But mine wouldn't stretch to Chorley, I'm afraid. I don't think from where I am anyway.
I'd have to get one of those little planes with the banners in the
sky. Happy birthday.
Simon Milne, a good friend Simon Milne, has asked us, how do we think business will change post-lockdown? Do you think we will see more people working from home, cutting their overheads? How is it going to change for general business and then for you guys?
Yeah.
Go on, Laura.
Okay. It was turned away. I'll take it. Yeah, I think it's going to have a hugely positive impact on business. From our perspective, a lot of we recruit for quite a lot of people, companies that only work from home, so they're only recruiting home workers, and their biggest challenge when they're hiring people that have the right cultural fit and the right, they've never worked from home. So that is not true for anybody ever again. Everyone's had at least 6 weeks of working from home experience. So I think that'll help, and just flexibility for employees will help, because I'm hoping that businesses will continue to have a flexible mindset now to working from home, especially the ones that never had before, and they can allow that for their employees. So at Fresh, if someone's not, sometimes as humans, some days you just feel low. You can still work and you can still do your job, but you prefer to maybe just be on your own and not have to talk to other people. And so working from home is really good for that. And people don't need to take a sick day. They don't need to feel like pressure to come to work if they've got anxiety. They can still maybe take a working from home day, still get through everything they need to, but they're still protecting and looking after themselves and therefore their mental and emotional health. And I think just the working from home element and that the fluidity and flexibility that will provide for people will be a massive positive.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. I think. Sorry, can I?
No, Michael.
I think anybody who's making all these doom predictions like we're going to have this massive recession, I think that's rubbish. I went to fetch this. So this is The Rational Optimist by Matt Ridley. So Matt Ridley does like economics and like financial projections and economics and how things are all related together. I didn't know what economics was till already. The point is, he was saying they've done studies where all these people that make these predictions say the market's going to be like this, even like sports events, and they have all these panels and experts. They've actually studied, they're mostly wrong. So it's back to what I'm trying to say is like, we can make it what we want it to be. It's not predestined. And what Laura's saying before is really good, because I think companies will be going back to what is our value here? We generate IP, or we have this asset or whatever. What are we trying to achieve? This. And then like Laura said, well, can I do that working from home? Yeah, fine. Do it that way. People had already started to figure that out and say, we don't need an office. We don't need this. We need this. And I think that ability to think laterally and connect all these different things has been a real positive, because people have had to. If there's changes come in like two ways, don't they? They come when you motivate and you want to do it, which is quite rare. And then there's the change when you have to do it and you're like, oh, even if I don't want to, I've got to do it. And I think we've had that one.
With technology.
We've had that one. But then if you can feel motivated and add a bit of positivity on top of it, it's very, very exciting, actually. I think because people have had to reconnect with what's important. We understand that. And then I think it'll almost be like, we'll feel like we've gone back to normal. We'll have gained something and gone, we've now got everything we had before, plus this. That was helpful,
And I think it'll help. I think it'll help some businesses be more efficient and productive, because hopefully some teams will be stronger and more resilient. They'll have built a better communication process in and more reliant on technology to stay connected. But also at times of stress and difficulty, you really learn about people's true colours, who's with you and who is not, and who's just coming along for the ride. And for some of our customers, it's been quite an emotional process for us. And they've got, some of them are like, my team is amazing. They're all pulling together. Nobody wants to be furloughed. They're in it with me. They're going above to help me keep my business alive. Then other clients have not had that with all of their employees. But what it's really allowed them to do is realise that, make some difficult decisions and exit those people from the business. But it means that they've not got the wrong people on their books. They've got the right people, and when things improve, they can replace them with the right people. So as much as it's probably been difficult and hard for them, I think overall in the future will lead to positives for them.
Brilliant. Great points. And I know we're rapidly running out of time. I want to keep to half an hour, because who wants to listen to us ramble on for 4 hours? I'm not sure. Well, they don't want to listen to me anyway. But Nicola Taylor makes a good point, saying working from home requires discipline too, of course. And maybe that's a course in the making for you guys. I'm not sure. But there we go. A couple of minutes then each, if you don't mind, on where you want to be, who you want to work with, what's the next 6 months got in store for you, in 2 minutes each, if you can fit it in that time. Go on, Laura, give us a go.
I was going to go to Michael. In the next 6 months, we'll hope to be back in the office, have all the team around us, and hopefully another team member or two on board. We've got a lot of, we've even been building up relationships over the past few weeks with people to meet once this is over, because they want to progress their businesses. So more recruitment plans ahead. But what we really want to do is really push on the training. Obviously, it won't always be webinars. We can do face training hopefully very soon. So we're looking to connect with people that want to learn more about LinkedIn, hiring, recruiting, looking for jobs, writing CVs, interviewing, anything that you've seen us do a video series on, we can do a training session on. So we would really like to, in 6 months' time, that to be a thriving section of the business rather than just an add-on to Fresh, which an equal part to the recruitment side would be amazing.
Brilliant. And when's your next webinar?
We have our interviewing and CV writing Q&A on Thursday at 5:30 for candidates. And then we've got our next LinkedIn taster at 10:30 on Thursday, the 30th.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. Michael, go on, give us a couple of minutes.
That was good. I can't follow that. So yeah, it's really simple. So we're on a mission. It's growing people, and we do it through leadership, we do it through training courses, and we do it through products. So we're just carrying on with all three of those. So leadership, like say, working with companies, leaders, and managers. The training side of things, like Laura, we're very passionate about online training as well as in face-to-face. So face-to-face just paused, so we'll carry on with the face-to-face. So I deliver courses for Boost, Chamber of Commerce, the Chartered Institute of Insurers. That's hard to say quick. So, doing the training face-to-face, I love people, man. I love to feel that energy in the room. But a big part of what we're doing is the online side of things. So I'm now blogging every week. I'm putting a video out every week. Again, trying to give as much free content as possible. So that's not stopping. If anything, I've just increased, which is mental. And yeah, there's things. So like, for example, I have a speech booked for London, educational conference. They give me an hour and a half to talk about whatever I want. So that's booked in for October. So a lot of things have been paused. They're not, I say to people, life's not cancelled, it's just postponed. Some things that have been postponed, they're just carried on. We were getting to stage of working internationally. So a lot of that thing's kind of maybe gone half a step back. But really, it's the online thing, like what Laura's saying, we've all realised we can give a lot more value online than I think we thought we could. And that'll be a massive part of the business. In 6 months, looking back, I think I'll be very excited by, how much we've been able to help people online mainly.
Brilliant. Guys, thanks very much. It's coming up to 1 o'clock. This is the first one ever. I'm going to do it every Monday, which is great. Thanks so much for being guinea pigs. You've been ace. You've been ace. Have a great time. If you want to know more about Michael from Kataholos and Laura from Fresh Perspective, put them on LinkedIn. They're all over it. You'll see everything that they've got going on there. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you again.
Thanks.
See you later.
See you, bye.
Yes, bye.